given a chance to go to school, get an education, and get a job, they would not only help their family, but the world as well. Many developing countries still have a lot of sexism, but there's also sexism in many developed countries like Canada as well.
So we all know what sexism is, right? Well, it's basically assigning people roles in society based on their gender. These roles sometimes prevent people from pursuing certain careers and dreams.
Male sexism? Do these two words go together? Now, if you think about it, you don't see much protest about anti-male sexism, and there's often something called feminism, not maleism. However, it does exist, but just beneath the surface. Male sexism has become so common that we often habituate or ignore it when it happens. I mean, how many of you actually look like this? The media has been repeatedly promoting these unnatural image of guys. I mean, even if we do work out every single day to the point of us puking out, we still can't achieve what's expected. Men are pressured by society to look, act, and be like stereotypical males, but in reality, that's just not possible. This pressure is what we call sexism. Now, the leading cause of discrimination is sexism. For example, in the business world, a woman is expected to wear uncomfortable high heels, while men do not have to. On the flip side, even men experience discrimination from stereotypical standards. For example, men are expected to be tough and emotionless, like a statue. And we're supposed to protect our manhood by being muscular, athletic, and smarter than girls. Last week, one of my friends said he wanted to become a nurse when he grows up. And many of my classmates disapproved the idea because he's a male. They had a very sexist perspective, saying that he doesn't have the feminine compassion or the empathetic hospitality that women possessed. Don't you see? Discrimination is what's preventing us from doing things we love. And come on, we live in Canada. We have the freedom to be ourselves.
So, just like what Jack said, girls face sexism too, and there's a lot of stereotypes for girls. So here's just a few examples. Girls are expected to be sensitive, passive, pretty, modest, obedient, dependent, and skinny. Not every girl has these qualities, and not every girl has to have them, but society and media says otherwise.
So here's a typical cross-gender example of sexism. Women are considered scandalous if they have many boyfriends, yet guys, on the other hand, are praised and sometimes even encouraged for having many girlfriends. They're called players. Why is that? Now, this is what you call a double standard.
The media is also a big cause of sexist trends. The media makes it a norm to call women by derogatory names, which are meant to be a put-down for women. But why are they suddenly used in friendly conversations? Now we're going to play a short game before we leave. Myth or fact? Women are biologically unsuited for extreme competitive sports. Who thinks myth? Who thinks this is a fact? Oh, nobody. Well, this is actually a myth. Women are physically able to participate in any sport they choose. There is nothing biologically preventing them from doing so. Myth or fact? Men don't have as many parental rights as women. Who thinks myth? Who thinks this is a fact? Well, actually, those of you who chose myth, it's actually a myth. Under Canadian law, men have the same custody rights as women, but socially, men are seen to have less parental rights as women.
Okay, myth or fact? Attractive women are always either dumb or vicious.
Say myth or fact.
Myth? Fact? Who thinks fact?
Wow.
Well, surprisingly, a lot of people do think it's a fact, but it's a myth. It's definitely not true for all women.
Okay, myth or fact? Over 50% of the women in Canada have experienced physical or sexual violence. Oh wait, no. Oh,
Wrong myth.
Wrong
myth or fact?
Sorry.
Men don't take parental leave. Who thinks it's a myth? Who thinks it's a fact? Well, this is an interesting one. It's actually a myth. Men in Canada can actually take parental leave, and it's not as uncommon as you think.
Okay, myth or fact. Over 50% of the women in Canada have experienced physical or sexual violence. Who thinks it's a myth? Who thinks it's a fact? This is actually a fact. Women over the age of 16 have, over half of the women in Canada have experienced some violence throughout their life.
We hope we have refreshed your mind about sexism. Just because we don't hear about it often doesn't make it any less important. No problem is too small if we can do something about it.
Remember, King, sexism is not feminism. It's felt by both genders. Yes, women experience sexism, but men do too. It's not just a women's problem, it's a global problem. So, gender roles are like a small, tight box. There's no space to be original. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Jeopardy! The Equity Edition, RH King Academy's favorite quiz show. Now, put your hands together for your host, Notion Trebek! Everyone, all right. Awesome. So, thank you, King. Thank you. I know you all are so glad to see me here. All right. So today we're gonna play Jeopardy, and I'm sure that you guys all know how to play Jeopardy. No? Yes? Can I hear some? All right, okay. So, the equity edition of this game is a little different. We have little twists and turns here and there. So, you guys know that we'll choose individual people from this audience to answer individual questions, right? And another difference in our version is that instead of monetary points, you can win prizes like buttons that you've seen the Equity Council sell throughout the years. So, you'll get one for free. Now, in Jeopardy, you know, there are 6 columns with really, weird topics, like American history. Ugh. Anyways, so in Equity, the Equity Edition, we have 5 topics that represent the 5 different columns of equity. We have anti-racism, anti-sexism, anti-homophobia, religious issues, and exceptionalities. Each of these columns have little icons that you guys can choose, and as we progress throughout the game and down the column, the questions get harder. Now, who's ready to play some Jeopardy? Yeah, okay, all right. Who's gonna be our first contestant? Right there, right, you, sir. All right, sir, what is your name?
Hans.
Stand up, sir. Show everyone his face. Yeah, let's show some support. All right, so choose a topic, any topic.
The one with the upside down triangle with the rainbow.
What topic? What column? What does it say?
Anti-homophobia.
Anti-homophobia? All right, anti-homophobia. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? What does LGBTQIQ2S stand for?
I think that's just gibberish.
Think about it. Let him ponder.
I think that's just gibberish.
Pardon me?
That's just gibberish, right?
Pardon me?
That's like,
It's not ridiculous.
I think it's a derogatory thing for people.
Try it out. What do you think it stands for?
Life.
Life? All right, okay. Do you want to pass?
Yeah, sure.
You want to pass? All right. A for effort. We have another contestant to answer this question. Who thinks they can answer this question? Any hands? Come on, people. All right, you over there. Now, tell me, what does LGBTQIQ2S stand for?
We know half of it.
Who is this? Yusuf? Is that Yusuf I see?
We do another group, okay? Lesbian,
Yeah.
gay, bisexual, transsexual, transgender,
Anyone want
interracial, inequality.